Welcome. This is Money Heart, where we explore the emotional side of money. I'm Camille Diaz, and today we're discussing It's All in Your Hands. My guest is Anita Swetman. She went from a shy, introverted, ordinary girl to CEO, national multi-gold award-winning beauty therapist, and massage therapist to the stars. Now she is even a published author. Anita, welcome to Money Heart.
Hi, Camille. Thanks for having me on your show today.
Yes, you're so welcome. And I am so glad you're here. This is a fantastic story of you really choosing to change your life and then going out and doing it. And sometimes we think that this kind of stuff happens overnight, but it never does. And so I would really love to hear kind of your transformation story. Walk us through it. Where did you start out in your career?
Oh my goodness. It was many, many years ago. Back in 2003 was when it first started for me when I got married. It was about a month before, and I'd had an accident at work where I fainted and hit my head. And I had a nice big black eye.
Oh my gosh.
I know it was a month before I was going to say my wedding vows, and everyone was panicking about it. But do you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to me. It really was. A lot of people now think, what do you mean by that? Why do you think it's the best thing happened? You're about to get married and you have a black eye. Because it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call because I was really stressed out in my corporate career. I was working very, very long hours. And if I carried on doing what I was doing, obviously I wouldn't make it to old age. And I think the stress just took its toll on my body, and my body just said, no more, and just went.
Yeah. What was your corporate career? What were you doing?
I was working in pharmacy.
Okay.
Chemist, yeah. I was a pharmacy technician, and I was working with care homes at the time. So we used to get all the medication ready for nursing homes, mental disability and things like that. It was very, very challenging, very, very hard work, but also very, very rewarding as well. I did enjoy my career, but it was just way too much for me, really too much.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really my calling to do pharmacy. I just sort of went into it at an early age because I've been working in pharmacy since I was about 18. I'm quite proud to say I'm 49 now. I know not a lot of ladies don't like to say how old they are, but me, no, I embrace the age. So obviously I had my wake-up call, obviously I was 30. So quite a long time ago. But working in pharmacy from when I was about 18. So from up to 30, it's a very, very long time in the same career.
It is the long time in the same career, and that it's a repetitive career. You know, you're doing the same thing over and over. I could see how it's challenging, but it's not really new challenges. It's continuous, same challenge. So
absolutely, yes, I did feel quite trapped. From the moment you went in to the moment you came out, you did feel like that's it. You're stuck, and you couldn't wait to get out at the end of the day. And it should never ever be like that when you're in a career that you love. You know, you should wake up in the morning bouncing out of bed and excited for what you're doing each day. And there are so many people out there that some are like that and that are quite lucky, and there are others obviously that aren't, and still feeling as I did. So I want to reach out to all those people that, you know, you're not stuck where you are. You can change your circumstances. But it wasn't easy. It really wasn't.
Right. And I love that point of you can change your circumstances, and that is a wonderful indicator. If you're waking up in the morning ready to get going, if you're like me and you're sitting at your desk at night working on a project going, okay, dinner would be good. I should do dinner, but I really want to do this. Like, so excited to be at your work. If that's not happening for you, let's figure out what we can do. What choice did you make? So we've got the black eye, we've got the wedding coming up, we've got the black eye. I'm guessing probably some head trauma there with the fall and everything as well. So probably not feeling great. And what happened?
Yeah, because the day I got married, I still had a very tiny mark just there. No one else could see it. I managed to conceal it very well, but I did have a lot of head pain on my head for probably a few years afterwards. And whenever I got a headache or I was tired, it was a reminder of that day when I had my wake-up call. Wow. But it was probably, I would say, a couple of years later when I first had a dream, a vision about changing my career to become a beauty therapist and having my own salon. But I was a pharmacy technician. I had no knowledge of running a business, or even what a beauty therapist did either. So I just dismissed it. I wanted my life to change, but I was just too comfortable, stuck in a rut. So I just ignored it.
You're not the only one who's done that, by the way.
Many people have. You just plod along day by day and hope that your life is going to change, but the only person that can change it is you. And that, obviously, I found out the hard way. I really did. So I had my dream about obviously becoming a technician, a beauty therapist, but I needed to look into what it would entail. So it took another 2 years. Obviously, after that, in 2005, so I had my accident in 2003. In 2005, I looked into what it was to go back to college, school as a mature student.
That's the fancy word of saying you're not 18 when you go to college, right?
Mature student. And that was the scary part, because when I was standing in line, obviously with all the tutors, and you sort of stood there with amongst all the 17-year-olds. I mean, bearing in mind, I was 32 years of age. I thought, what am I doing here? And I just froze on the spot, and I just wanted to run away. I just didn't feel comfortable at all. I just can't do this. But something was pushing me towards the lecturers, saying, no, you've come this far. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. And it was the best decision that I did. I'm so glad that I didn't run away, because when I met my fellow students, some of them were older than I was. So it was like, well, what was I worried about? It was, yeah.
I love the insight of the whole time you're getting ready to enroll, and you're standing there, and all you're seeing are these 17 and 18-year-olds signing up for school, and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I even here? And then when you actually get into the class, it turns out there are plenty of people who are mature students and even older than you, and you go, oh, why was I panicking about this? It's not a big deal after all. And I think so many times we do that. We get it into our mind that it's going to be a big deal. And so we're all freaked out about doing whatever it is. And then we actually do it. We're like, oh, that was nothing.
That's right. Yeah, you do dream up this sort of picture of how it's going to be. But it's just fear of the unknown, really, because it's just something new. I mean, especially if you've not been to school or college for a long time, obviously in your youth, and then as you get older, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But it's not. It's really not, and it's not as scary. And the lecturers, the tutors, they're all really friendly, really down to earth, and you're made to feel welcome. It was so different to being at school, so different. So I was so glad, and I found that when I was back at school, because I was still working full time. So I needed to find the time to do it. I needed to speak to my manager about it. He was very, very good, actually. And I was panicking about asking my boss if I could have time off to go to college. I only needed a couple of hours, a couple of times a week. But he was very, very supportive. So don't even be scared if you're working full time, and you want to go back to school and you're worried about talking to your boss. They're all human beings, you can talk to them, and they'll support you, because at the end of the day, it's your life. You've only got one life, and you have to do what makes you happy. But I found when I went back to college that I didn't want to leave at the end of the evening. I'd worked all day, I'd been at college all evening, and I loved being there so much. I just didn't want to leave. I found this newfound passion, and it was just, I was there for a whole year, studying my level 2 beauty therapy. And then at the end of the year, I started developing stomach pains. My life was sort of hanging by a thread. The stress of my career, because I was working full time. I was at college 2 nights a week. I was studying, and I was trying to keep my marriage together because my husband never saw me. It was really, really tough.
Gosh.
I got through it. I did get through it. My life was like as if I was hanging by a thread, but I did, and I qualified with a distinction for my diploma.
Oh, congratulations. It's wonderful.
But then that was it. I got qualified. What was the next step? So I needed to look into, so you qualified, what do you do now? So obviously I looked at what I needed to do, obviously, to set up my business.
I think that's a great point that you make of, people have the idea, I'll go back to school, And so if they pick something and they want to learn and they go back to school and they get past that initial fear of going, and then they get through the difficulty of actually doing the work and showing up and taking the exams and all of that. And then we get the degree and then we go, okay, I forgot to plan how I'm actually going to do the business. Like, because you're just so caught up in the school part. Now we got to plan, all right, so I'm going to have a business. How am I going to run that? How do I start it? What do I do? Where do I set up? What, like all of those pieces. I love that you're pointing out that, yeah, that was the next challenge, is how do I figure that piece out? Yeah.
Because when I was back at school, 15, 16 years of age, we did study information technology, business studies back then, but I had no business degree at all.
Right.
And the best thing is, you don't need a business degree to start your own business. Obviously, if you a corporation, obviously with employees, things like that, then obviously that's a completely different avenue. But if you're working for yourself, if you're self-employed, it's completely different. So I just looked, obviously at college, we talked about what do we do next to set up, how do I start up, and went through the steps on getting yourself out there. So I had no money to start up. I'd saved my hard-earned money to pay for my college course. And I think I probably had about £300 saved, where I went to the wholesalers. So I bought myself some nail polishes and things like that, a couch, just the basics to start up with.
Yeah.
I had the bare minimum. And then I got some business cards made up, and I started putting leaflets through doors. And I was doing that for a couple of months. Nothing. I didn't get anything.
Oh gosh.
But scroll back just a little bit. I finished my college degree, obviously my college diploma in 2006, and then I went on to do further studying as well, because I was doing different courses, learning massage and things like that. So by the time I fully qualified, I think it was probably around 2009, but I didn't actually start up my business until 2012. Because the little imposter syndrome inside me saying, you're not good enough, you can't do this. What makes you think that you can start up a business? So, sorry, going back a little bit. Yeah, it took a few years before I actually reduced my hours so that I could start up a business part-time. But yeah, I put leaflets through the doors, didn't get anything from it, nothing. And my inner voice was saying, you're not good enough, you can't do this, no one wants you, things like that.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people that were coming to me, so I started practicing on friends and family, building up my experience, because I thought, well, maybe it's me, I haven't got the experience. So I thought, right, okay, I'll just start building up the experience. And then I started to get a couple more come, and then they would tell their friends, and it just sort of went on from that. But they would just come for a treat. It was like a one-off. And I thought, how am I going to sustain a business with just one-off clients? I need them to come back regularly.
Yes.
So obviously I would just keep on. I just got myself out there. So it was a friend of mine. She worked at the local school, and she talked to me about, would you like a table at our school fair? You could get yourself out there. Now, me being really shy and not liking to be around many people, I was absolutely petrified. I was like, no, I can't do it. I thought, well, it's either that or you stay stuck in your job. So, and
that's such a great way to look at it, is just to go, okay.
One way you can go back, or you can go forward, and there is, once you make that leap, there is no going back, there's always forward. So there I was. I psyched myself up, I got all my nail polishes, I got my pretty table cover, and I decided I was just going to promote my business and do sort of file and polishes, making nails pretty, because I did manicures back then, I don't do them anymore. And that's what I did, and I gained a few clients from that event. And then at that event was probably one of the best things that happened, because I met the local vicar of our church. Now, I'm not a churchgoer myself, but this lady, I really warmed to her. And we got on to talking about doing a charity afternoon tea and pamper event for the community. And again, my imposter syndrome was like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, there's going to be lots of people there. But we did. We sat down, we discussed the event, and cutting a long story short, it was a sellout. So many ladies came to the event. I think we raised about £500 for Amasango School for street children in South Africa. That was a local charity that the vicar supported. Yeah, they were paying like £5, £10 for cakes and tea, and obviously we were charging about £10 for treatments. And yeah, and I gained some more clients for that. I was starting to get myself out there more. You know, people were getting to know me, and I did more events after that. And then I started building it up. And then I took on a new massage treatment, which was with lava shells, the world's first self-heating massage tool, which is an amazing treatment. It's a seamless heated massage of warmth. When I saw it at a beauty show in London.
I'm a little sad that we live so far apart now and that I can't come get one.
You have to fly over and have one, definitely.
Fly over, that's right. Yeah. It's only like a 12-hour flight or so. So no.
Oh, I did that. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe. Well, by the time I would have to switch planes, so it would be a little bit far. But I'm in. I'm ready.
Yeah, that's wait a little while, but you get there. Yeah. And I took on this treatment. I couldn't afford to take it on, but I saved up everything for my treatments, and I just reinvested everything back into my business so that I could get the best sort of products and treatments for my clients. So this treatment that I started to do, one of my clients had seen it on TV, and she said, oh, I've been telling all my friends that Anita does this treatment, and she said how amazing it was. And that was when a light bulb exploded in my head. It was like, what if I could do celebrity work and start getting myself out there more so that people would want to book in for these treatments? But the imposter syndrome came in saying, celebrity work, come on. you can't do this. No way. Anyway, cut long story short, I filled in the application form when the manager was looking for therapists to do this. Took a deep breath, filled it out. Again, imposter syndrome kicked in. You can't do this. No, they won't choose you. And then it was, why won't they choose me? What makes me any different to anybody else?
Yes.
You know, I mean, at this point, I was in my business where people were loving my massages. I was getting good reviews coming in. I thought, no, I'm good at my craft. I can do this.
Yes.
So I applied for the position, but I stood there at the post box with my envelope.
Oh, were you nervous to put it in the box?
I was so nervous to put it in the post box. I thought, no, I can't do this. I thought, well, you carry on as you are then. You'll have to go back to your job.
Yes. I love the way that you are. I love your self-talk. I love the way that you're like, can't do it. Wait. You have to go back to the job if you don't do it. Okay, just do it. Like every time you're always remembering, I've got to go back to the regular job. I don't like that. Okay, we'll do it. And then, I'm not sure if I can do it. No, you got to go back to the regular job if you don't do it. Okay, we're doing it. It's just so inspired to do it.
Like your brain is in a whirlwind, you know, you've got all these thoughts going around in your head, and they're all negative, telling you that you can't do it and saying that you're not good enough. But I was telling myself, obviously, that yes, I can do it. I am good enough. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I love that. Why not? They got to pick somebody. It could be me.
So I forgot about it after that and went back to normal. And then there was another email that came through from the manager looking obviously for therapists, thinking, no, I'm not going to get chosen. And then I had another one come back saying, dear Anita, thank you for your letter. We'd like to invite you. Oh. And I got invited to work alongside the team, a big event in Birmingham, obviously a beauty show, to see if we could work well alongside each other. Oh. So I was, well, you can imagine me, I was feeling sick to the pit of my stomach. I was so nervous, I couldn't sleep. But in the morning I got up, put my uniform on. It was Sunday morning, by the way, so everyone else was probably fast asleep by then. I was up quite early, put my uniform on, done my hair, done my makeup. I was pristine, I was ready. I looked myself into the mirror and said, you can do this. I managed to drive myself to the car park, and even in the car park, I was talking myself out of it. And I was going to go home. I thought, no, I can't go home. They're expecting me. They're expecting me.
That's right. Can't let them down.
you can't back out now. So I went and I spent the day with them, and I started to relax. I forgot all about why I was there and just concentrated on being me, just being me.
Yay.
And at the end of the day, the manager came up to me and just said that she'd been observing me all day, and she loved the way I worked, and she invited me to my first celebrity event, which was going to be in London. And that was in 2014. Yeah, 2014, 2 years after I set up my business. And it was hosted by a major celebrity magazine. Now, fortunately, because of confidentiality, I can't say who I massaged or where it was, but it was probably, it was very glamorous. It was at Mayfair in London where we were, and it was a very, very glamorous nightclub event that we went to for their birthday celebrations for the company. And I massaged some pretty famous people. Some of them I hadn't heard of, obviously, before, but some I had. But I just decided that I was just going to treat them like my clients, because they're, at the end of the day, they're just like you and I, normal people. And that's what I found out when I was doing all these celebrity events, because I went on to do so many different celebrity events afterwards. And I found that they're just normal people, just like us. It's just a job that they do, but it's quite interesting seeing them switch for the camera. It's like they'll be talking to you 1 minute, and then the next minute they just like put on this act, and it's like, oh, wow, you know, it's quite fascinating to watch, really. And I met some really, really lovely, amazing people on my journey.
Yeah, I love that, how you once you realize that they were just the same as your clients from the charity event and from the school event and things. They're just all regular people who have a different job that happens to make them really well known. Then it makes it so you go, well, I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this job. I can do this job for anybody now and not have to be intimidated anymore. That's lovely.
But even though I did quite a lot of events, the imposter syndrome did still kick in sometimes. Because excuse me, I was invited to do a pamper event in North London for the host of that major magazine.
Oh, lovely.
Her home, oh my goodness, I've never seen anything so glamorous. £9.1 million mansion in North London with massive gates, with a big sign saying "Beware of the dog," which was a cute little poodle, by the way. Imposter syndrome kicked in, saying, "Oh my goodness, no, you can't do this. You can't do this." And then again, why not? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But the event was really, really quite hilarious, actually, and I think I made everyone relax, because when I went into their spa area, because we were doing the treatments in the spa area, and I can't even begin to tell you how big this spa was. It was humongous.
Well, I mean, a house that has a spa area for treatments, that's impressive in itself. I never would have thought to build that into my house.
I know. Well, it's on the list, I tell you. Oh, definitely, it's got to be on your list.
It's on the list now. I'll put it on the list.
It even had a lifeguard station. That was how big it was.
Wow.
That's how big it was. But anyway, all I did was, when I went in there, because it was quite hot, I just put my hands up in the air and I just went, wow. And my wedding ring flew straight off of my hand. It went straight into her pool.
Of course.
And I clambered down on my hands and knees into her pool. My trousers were sopping wet, trying to get my wedding ring, and it made everyone laugh. And the housekeeper said, "Did you find it?" So yes, I did. So we had some fun along the way too. But it wasn't until 2012, yes, because it's 10 years ago this November, that I made the decision to leave my corporate career behind for good, because I was working, at this point, I was working all day, I was working all night, and I was working the 3 days, obviously, in my therapy, obviously doing my treatments, and my health had taken its toll. I've been through different things, but it was when I decided, enough is enough, because I started in 2012, and then 4 years ago was when I finally went full-time in my business. Sorry, I do apologize. When I lost my brother My brother died quite suddenly of a heart defect.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And that was, thank you, that was the major wake-up call to say, right, now you need to leave it behind for good, because I was still hanging on to my corporate career like a little safety net, just in case it failed. But I knew that the only person who could make it a success was me. The only person that could make my business a success was me. So my brother had died, and then in the summer, my health had taken its toll again. I was getting chest pains, which turned out to be anxiety. And then I was at work one day when I had a pain come down the side of my face. It went all numb. The doctors thought I was having a stroke. Luckily, it was an optical migraine. But that's what stress does to your body. It's quite scary, and I was actually quite scared.
And as someone who works as a massage therapist, you kind of are in the stress relief industry there.
I know, exactly. So I needed to start looking after myself. So when my brother passed on, it was like, you need to just look after yourself now. So I sat down with my husband and said, right, okay, so I'm going to be giving up a full-time career, and I've got a part-time income, obviously from my therapy business. We've got a mortgage to pay, we've got bills to pay. He said, you'll figure it out. He said to me, you'll figure it out. I was like, okay, I'm sure I can. Yes, I can. I can do that.
Can. Why not? Everybody else figures it out. I can figure it out.
So in November 2000, and where are we, 4 years ago, 2000 and my brain's gone. Anyway, 4 years ago.
I just love that level of support that he didn't even question. He just said, you'll figure it out. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I needed to look at how I'd lost my full-time income. I needed to look at how I could make my part-time income full-time.
Right.
So what did I do? I got myself out there again. I took a deep breath, jumped back in, and I got myself out there on social media. I said, right, now I've increased my hours. I've left my pharmacy career. I can now do. I was working Monday to Friday at this time. I had people contacted me who'd been like a few years before, saying, oh, now I can come on my day off. Oh, now I can tell my friends that you're doing it. And that it was as if they were all waiting for me to leave. So part of me was thinking, why didn't I leave before?
They were waiting to make sure that you were serious and that you weren't just going to do this for 6 months and then go back to your pharmacy career before they committed and told all their friends.
I think so. I think so, definitely. So yeah, and literally within a month, by Christmas, I had doubled my income. So I had made my full-time income that I was in pharmacy, and I continued to do that every single month. Even in January and February, when most salons are quiet, not me, I was busy. I was packed out. People wanted things to look forward to. I was busy.
Yes.
And I continued that way every single month until COVID struck.
Right. And that impacted your industry, one of the most, I think. The personal services and the restaurants were probably some of the most impacted industries. Right. Yeah. How did you fare?
Well, obviously, because I started full-time in November 2018, and then it was end of March, April 2019. So I completed my first full year, obviously year and a half of full-time employment. And then we went into lockdown, and that was it. Closed down literally overnight. Yeah. Nothing, no income, no help, nothing. So when I had my little bereavement process of my business that I've worked so hard, I've left my pharmacy career. What do I do now? When the odds are against you, you have a choice on what path to take. So it was either, okay, so now you go back and get another job, or you look at other ways of income so that you can keep your business alive and you survive the other end of it.
Right. And that must have been such a heartbreak for you, having held on to that safety job for so many years, and then you finally let it go, and a year and a half later you're like, oh, kind of wish I had that safety job.
Absolutely. At the time I did. Yes.
Your income wouldn't have been going up and your business wouldn't have been exploding if you'd held on to it.
Exactly. So things happen for a reason. I truly do believe that. But I'd had a dream after I'd gone through my bereavement process of losing my career, my business. I had a dream about doing online skin consultations to my clients. Would it be possible? Because I'd literally invested, I think it must have been about a couple of grand, literally just before COVID struck, into a new skincare line for my clients. So I'd invested a lot of money in it. I'd literally just started it with some clients on board with it when we went into lockdown. So luckily I had done it. But the company who I trained with, it was if they'd had it in motion and they'd already set up online skin consultations and product sales and a whole line of continual professional development for us throughout lockdown. So I was a student again, back there every day with my laptop, and we were learning obviously how to do this. And it worked, it was successful. I managed to have an income coming in from this. It wasn't obviously what I was earning before, because obviously I didn't have clients coming in for treatments, but it kept my head above water so that the bills were paid. Because my husband kept saying to me, do you need any money from me? And I said, no, I'm fine, I can do it, I don't need you. I can be quite stubborn.
Look how your outlook had changed by this point, because before you had a lot of, I'm not sure, I can't do it, I need safety net, I need help. And now you've switched to that. Don't you try to help me, I've got this. Exactly. That is fantastic.
No one's going to get in my way. I can do this.
Yeah.
And then one of my clients who does network marketing, she put up a post about looking for people to join her network marketing opportunity. And okay, it was not something I really wanted to do. I had my career, but it was like, oh yeah, I could do that. Online selling. I'm doing the online selling. This is what I'm training to do. I can do this as well. So I was selling fragrances and things like that. And I was selling them to my clients. And then I actually got some new clients from this as well, which was really good after we went back to normal, which was really, really nice as well. So that combined, I was keeping my head above water, paying the bills.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah.
It's such a huge change in your story of how you went from so nervous and scared and feeling that imposter syndrome every time you took a step forward to finally stepping out into your own and having that confidence of going, no, I've got this, I can do this, and whatever happens, I'll figure it out. So that's beautiful. Yeah,
there's always 4 steps forward and probably 5 steps back. So every time I went forward, I was going back even further, but I was still moving closer. So eventually it was 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And then now where I am in my life, it's 3 steps forward and no steps back. So I'm always continually moving forward all the time.
That's so wonderful. What are you most excited about right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, the thing I'm most excited about right now is that I would probably say 80% of my clients still come back to me regularly. So my business got back on track pretty quick. I had such lovely, wonderful messages from all of them. You know, we miss you. And they cared for me as much as I cared for them, which was really, really nice. You know, we struck up a real lovely relationship, especially when you work for yourself. You know, you're in the driving seat, you're the boss, you're in control. Yeah. The reputation is on you to make it the best that it's going to be. Right. And I feel really blessed that they've all come back. But I have also got a lot of clients that circumstances have changed. Some have moved away. Obviously, their financial circumstances have changed. So obviously they haven't been able to come back, and vice versa. And people move on. So I'm quite proud that I've been able to sustain. Obviously,
that sounds like a really high number to me. 80% of your people came back and stay with you regularly. That's really seems excellent.
Yeah, because the sad thing is, and I'm sure it is over in America as well, so many spas and salons had to close their doors for good. Some never recovered, and especially some that had just started probably just before COVID, they couldn't get any help. It is very, very sad that the industry has had a real knock-on effect. Some of my friends now said that you know, they're really, really struggling with it. So my heart goes out to them, really. But again, you just have to keep on getting yourself out there, and pulling them in, basically. Giving the best of yourself, the best that you can possibly be, and but your passion, if it's something that you enjoy, obviously I'm talking from a beauty therapist, celebrity massage point of view, your passion shines through. So you know if you're doing the right thing or not, if you're in the right career, no matter what it is that you go into. As my friend says, not just for beauty therapists, my advice, it's for any type of career, what you're going to do.
Yeah, it really is, because if you love what you're doing, the people that come to work with you pick up on that, and they want to work with you because you're happy and excited and thrilled to be there. Whereas if you don't love what you're doing, people are kind of going to move away. They'll find somebody who is excited about that so they can have that positive experience.
Yeah, because they can tell as soon as they walk through the door, you get that atmosphere, don't you?
Every time.
It makes you feel welcome, or they're not.
Or not so much, yes. Do you have a book coming out soon?
I do. That's the other thing I'm really excited about as well, is that I have already released my book, which is my heart-led story, which a lot of it talks about what I've been through today. It's a memoir. There's a lot of lovely, memorable quotes in there as well. And it talks a lot about my feelings along my journey as well. It talks about how I set up my business, how I went back to college, when I started massaging celebrities. And it also talks about how I managed to fight through COVID and come back out fighting the other way. Yeah, it's also quite heart-wrenching as well, because I do talk about obviously bereavements in there. But all it is just points in my life that have got me to where I am today. So there's quite a lot that I've left out of it. And it also talks about the most important part, how I came to become an author as well, because it was in the last lockdown that we had last Easter, last 8/21, when we were off again for 4 months, because obviously I'd had a really good Christmas period. We were back to normal for Christmas, and then our government decided, nope, we're in lockdown again for the new year. So my life was hanging in the balance. It's like, well, am I going to go back to work again? What's going to happen? Nobody knew really, did we? And that was when I watched The Secret on Netflix, which is all about the law of attraction. And it made me realize that I had been using the law of attraction for so many years. Everything that was happening to me, I had attracted without even realizing it into my life. Even this lovely Zoom we're doing today, somehow I led to the lovely Camille, and we're doing this wonderful recording together. And everyone is attracted into your life for a reason. And yeah, and I thought, you know what, I need to tell people about my story, because even though we were locked down, it made me realize that I was living my dream that I envisioned all those years ago. Subconsciously, I built it up. I built up a full-time income, which was successful. And even now, I'm just still so busy. And I need to tell people what I did, what I went through. Right. So my book was published in February this year, No Ordinary Girl, which is available on Amazon, and also most major online bookstores around the world. Obviously, I know that Barnes & Noble is quite big in America, so you can find Barnes & Noble online. Yeah. So I was really, really excited about that. But also I have collaborated with 15 other authors. So we've got a book which is coming out in October this year. It's been launched in line with International Mental Health Week as well, which is called Beautifully Broken. It's a collection of authors' memoirs, just to help people. So that's really exciting. Some more news obviously will follow about.
Yeah, I love all your inspirational stories. This is fantastic.
And from going from a pharmacy technician to a beauty therapist and massaging celebrities, and now I've become an author. I'm now actually writing my first novel, which I'm a quarter of the way through at the moment. It's quite surreal how I came onto my path of being an author, because when I was 22 years of age, I was in between careers. Before I started I was in one pharmacy job before I went to this one that I was in. I've been with the longest. And I went to the job centre, and I don't know if you have them over there, and you have to key into the computer all your interests, what you love to do and things like that. Anyway, it kept coming up saying librarian. And I'm thinking, why does it keep coming up saying librarian? Why do I want to be a librarian? And it didn't even trigger back then. nowhere on the line did it come beauty therapist.
Right.
In fact, nowhere on the line did it come pharmacy technician. That's the sort of a world I was in. I was just plodding along, and I just worked my way up in a corporate career. But now I'm a published author, second, obviously, collaboration book, and now third book.
Third book on the way. That is so wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story today. This has been really great.
I hope I can inspire, no matter where you've been, where you've come from, your degrees, anything, you can do it. You just got to believe in yourself and look at what it entails to get you there.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
It is. It really is. If you just believe in yourself, it is all up to you. You can totally do pretty much whatever you want. So
the world's your oyster.
Yeah. If you want to get in touch with Anita or pick up one of her books, you can get that info on her website, anitaswetman.com. And of course, we'll have links to her site and the books and all of her social media. She's on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that. We'll put all of those things in the show notes to make it super simple for you to find her and get her book, No Ordinary Girl, and then the collaboration. And then I'm excited about that novel. What genre are you writing in?
Oh, it's a fantasy thriller.
Ooh, fantasy. Okay. Yep. Sounds good. I'm in. Sounds great. Thank you as well to all of our listeners and viewers. I'm your host, Camille Diaz. I'm a business optimization coach, financial educator, author, and speaker. You can contact me and find out what I'm up to through my website, CamilleDiaz.com, and follow me on social media at Cam Unfiltered. Be sure to follow Money Heart at Money Heart Show, and our website is moneyheartshow.com. So Anita, would you like to share the money mantra that you've provided us with for today?
Oh, yes. I effortlessly attract money and circumstances into my life.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. It's been a real pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
It certainly has. Me too.